All right, you ready? You just want to get to it, and we can just catch up as we're recording.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely, buddy. It's good to see you.
You too. This is gonna be fun. It's been a
Yeah,
little while. Been like a
yeah,
stranger.
your hair looks great, buddy. I love it.
You like that? That's an old school spiky get young chicks look. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I do the same thing.
Yeah. Speaking of, I gotta trim mine up just a little bit. It's wild. It gets long and spiky. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
1980s fucking cool ass spiky shit. I dig it. Uh, yeah, I was like, wait, I wonder if I got a way to show you what my hair used to look like real quick before you get going on here. Give me a second. I'm gonna show you something.
I love it.
So that's what my hair gets like that. It gets a little bit more wild, but you know. So anyways, man, you taking a break, losing weight, doing Jack LaLanne, it looks like. I don't know what you've been up to besides roofing.
Yeah, that's just about it, man. Just a bunch of roofing here in Atlanta.
So let's see, you've been out of the loop for how long now? Few
At
months.
least, yeah, I'd say probably. I think I looked at last night. The last video I did was what 7.5, 8 months ago.
Yeah, I knew you took a little bit of a break, man. You got to do it, dude. For me, people are like, "Where you at, Pimpy?" I was like, "Taking a mental break." You guys fucking drive me crazy. I mean, you know, I love you guys, but that's not the part that drives me crazy. You know what they do? They send me all kinds of videos. And go, what do you think? What do you mean? What I think? You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna tell you the same shit all the time. But if the video's something that I think would be entertaining, then of course I'll respond to the video. And you know me, especially if I'm buzzing, you know, but I don't drink as much as I used to. But if I'm buzzing, I get a hold of something, I'm gonna tear it up on the videos, man. I will.
It's funny is I would get people back when I was doing it regularly would be like, "Hey, ask Pimpy what he thinks about this," and I'm like, "You can go back to a video because he's talked about it, and he'll let you know." I'm not going to ask him what he thinks about it because I already
Yeah.
know he's
They,
going to
they,
shoot
they,
me
they
down.
won't they won't go back to the old videos. I'm like, dude, there's like 500. I was gonna go back and delete them because they don't get views. You know, this is the one subject that we talk about that you're not gonna get a lot of views. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mine's informative. I said go back there. All people who are new to this shit, go back there and go look at those ones because I'll tell you exactly what it is you should be looking for. But
Right.
you know, there's my friends like, dude, your whole club life. If you'd have filmed that, I was like, dude, if I'd have filmed that by now, I'd have
Oh
about
man.
10 million freaking subscribers because it was insane, man. My whole life has been like a rock star, being in the Playboy
MTV would have
Mansion and just
loved to have
crazy.
given you a reality series.
Yeah. Before reality was real, I was the
Yeah.
reality. So I mean, and the funny thing is, I have a lot of friends that are reality stars. I should show you pictures of them, but those
Me
are
and the wife just went out to Vegas last
nice.
month. Yeah, we were in Vegas, and I used to love Vegas, but I used to do a lot of drugs, and I would drink everywhere I went. You know
Yep.
what I mean? And now I don't do drugs or drink. So I don't know. By the time 9 o'clock in Vegas rolls around, for me, that's like 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
And I'm ready for bed.
Yeah, dude, I say, like in the middle of the day, I'm like, I gotta take my old man nap. What? Oh, fucking man, dude, when you get older, you'll understand. But before we go out and get crazy, you guys, I gotta take my old man nap. You know what I mean? I gotta take like an
Yeah.
hour nap. Just leave me alone. Let me regroup. But when you get older, you'll understand because most of my friends are like in their 30s. You know, they're younger people. That's who used to club with. You know what I mean? I'm like, I'm old. Now,
Yeah,
just leave me alone.
absolutely. So the reason I wanted to get you today was because I feel like there's so many people in this investment, right, that are like myself. I used to always believe and get upset every weekend when it didn't happen because I knew I was going to be worth
Oh,
thirty
gee, I wonder
million
why.
dollars. Yeah, I was going to be worth 30 million
You
bucks.
mean it's not happening this weekend? Or what? You
Oh
know?
yeah,
So and
oh
so
yeah,
said it was. Yeah.
oh yeah. You know what I mean? So, but after talking to you, I feel like there is potential to make some good wealth in Iraq.
Yeah,
B-
absolutely.
But I I've been feeling this way since last year when we got together. I don't really feel like it's 100% in the currency. And after our conversation earlier, I feel even more solidified in that feeling that it's not going to be in holding dinar. It's going to be in what is it? The ISX? Is it the Iraqi Stock
Yeah, the
Exchange?
Iraqi stock exchange. But the thing is this, because, I've been talking about the dinar for so long. You know what I mean? I will bring up from time to time, you guys should think about getting invested in the stock exchange. And I would just see that. People are like, well, where do you go? So I said, okay, well, then I started telling people, go to this person. I should put the banner up so it's up, but, go here to this person, and I'll put it on later. Tell them I sent you because there's a reason for that. You don't want to get stuck in answer machine hell and be there forever. But if you specifically say that I sent you, then they'll cut through the bullshit because I don't want anybody I'm sending over there to feel like they're not being responded to because those guys are busy all the time. Not always bringing new people on. Just understand that they're busy with everything that's going on. And we were closed to the public for the longest time. It's like 5 years, 6 years. We wouldn't. People are like, I want to join. I was like, you can't join, man. You guys can't join. I'm sorry. But now they're like, let's go ahead and open up to the public again. I was like, you sure? They're like, yeah. I was like, you sure? Because, I'll let people know about it. And, I got a lot of listeners who have deep, deep pockets. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. They've been waiting for this opportunity. So they jumped on it. And they're in there. This is what you get all the time. Oh, now you're pushing their product. I thought you're pushing the dinar. I said, well, first of all, I never push the dinar. I always tell people if you have discretionary funds, maybe you buy X amount and just kind of throw it in your freaking closet or whatever. If it happens, it happens. I mean, I'll talk about things I see in the news or debunk the shit out of all the lies that constantly come through. This shit that they do. Mark Z and freaking Frank and all Melanie, especially felony Melanie, dude. Somebody told me that she's been reported, and I hope so because anybody, this is the one type of person I hate. Tell me that you're talking to God, and you fucking lie like you do.
Yeah. Don't
bring God's name into this shit. Nobody's fucking talking to you besides your own ass. All right, that pisses me off. You know what I mean? So I try not to pay attention to her, but they got Q idiot that just fucking annihilates her every chance he gets, and I love watching his videos. It's funny, but these people they know. Or okay, let's put it this way: either they don't know, and they're just pushing off shit that they're lying about. Or they do know, and they're purposely misleading and lying to people, or they're just ignorant about the subject matter and refuse to get educated about it. You know what I mean? So in the beginning, because people are like, well, you changed. I go, yeah, the way I spoke about it, I changed. Of course, because the more educated I became, the more I researched, the more I was like, it could go this way. There's another option or another direction that people are not talking about. And that was bothering me. I was like, don't be them. Don't mislead people. I was like... All right, so we need to have a talk. We're coming to Jesus moment. There's another option out there that people are not talking about that I think you should be aware of. And that is, you guys can get excited about the deletion of the zeros. That's going to be good. I was like, no, it's not.
I remember that whole subject matter. I remember.
We want to keep the zeros. So, yeah. And how I broke loose. Pimpy doesn't know what he's talking about. I love that. Oh, yeah? Really? Then come on my show or I'll go on your show or wherever you want to. Prove me wrong. Because I'll bring the receipts. I'll smash your ass all day long on a video and make you look stupid. I research this shit out of everything. I'm not going to tell people a lie to mislead them. I said this so many times, and I'm not making this shit up, Carl. Dude, I can't tell you how many people had to walk off the edge, man. These people wanted to kill themselves. I'm like, why? They go, man, they lied to me. They said this, they said that. I go, I know. I'm not saying it's not going to happen, but what we're playing with is probabilities. A numbers geek, and my brain goes because I blame it on the autism, but I look at the probabilities and I go, it's not going to happen this way, in my opinion. Right. I'm not saying you can't make money, but you're not going to run around in Vegas with millions flying out of your pockets, snorting coke off some fucking hooker's ass. It's just the probability of that happening is very, very, very low. I'm not saying it's not going to happen 100% because there's always something pops up that's unexpected. There's no way to explain what happened, and they're like, hey, with our currency, we're just going to change the exchange and leave the zeros there. And you're like, well, shit, now I look like quite the asshole, But they said it so many times, programmed to delete the zeros. I go, so delete the zeros. Like, oh, that's good. That's off the exchange rate. I was like, no. The deletion of the zeros is a redenomination. And if they redenominate, they take the zeros off first, and you better cross your fingers that they change the exchange rate. They obviously will, but not to go down this and rehash it all over again. Sure, if depending on when you buy your dinar, you'll still make some money, but you're not retiring. I'll make enough to where I'll be in Vegas. You know what I mean? I'm be in Vegas next month in May.
So, in your opinion, what's that threshold, Pimpy? If it goes the way that you're seeing it and what you're hearing and what you're reading, and it goes the way that you foresee it going, what's that threshold to go to Vegas or to have a nice or to have a little buffer in your budget, if you will, or in your savings?
So for me, I have 5 million dinars.
Yep.
Okay. Obviously, if they delete the zeros, it now becomes 5,000 dinars.
Correct.
If they do reinstate the rate, that gives me 15,000. All right. I don't think I paid 2,000 for all my dinar. So if you got bills, get caught up. For me, that would just be play money. I'll take that, and 15,000 in Vegas would do me good. I kick ass on a roller table anyways. It's like, you want to answer the question, but you don't want people
No,
to
I get
start
it.
contemplating suicide. Don't do
I
that.
know.
Okay, first of all, you should be talking to Jesus. You should have built a relationship with God by now, so you had discernment that Melanie is a fucking thief and a felony, and eventually she'll get her up and comings. But
He will.
yeah, so and that's the same with all these idiots.
I had moderators from Frank 26 that would call me. They message me back, when I was going hot and heavy, and I would talk to them, and they would tell me a lot of the horror stories of the moderators and the people in his think tank. Like, he would shut them down, ban them, he would block them, he
If they
would,
question anything,
anything.
yeah,
If they had a disagreement, because the one that I'm talking about, I guess, he has a certain amount of integrity as, anybody else should have. And he said there was no integrity in it. Frank would hear something from either a walking stick or whoever, and he would change the verbiage to fit the narrative for the video that he was going to push.
yeah. This is my favorite thing. Ready? He does like this. Watch. See if I can do it. Today I got a message from Walking Stick. It was a really good message. Did you see that? Okay. Oh, here is Mr. Frank. Did you see it? Okay. I was like, what the f*** is that? You could have text yourself a message off your email. What are you showing us? I don't think you have a walking stick. I think you can stick up your ass, but I don't think you have a walking stick. And I don't believe most anything any of these people say out there. The one guy that I think, believe it or not, and I poke fun at him all the time, Militia Man. And
Yes.
I just think he's purposely naive, but was not able to find anything scandalous with him other than the fact that he's just not well read. Even though he swears up and down he's got Fortune 500 CEOs and accountants working in his group. And I said one time in the video, the reason why they're former Fortune 500 employees because they suck, okay? They're not.
You listen to Militia Man talk, and he seems like a decent enough guy. And I used to follow him, but he would talk and talk and talk, and I would just, when he got done, I'd be like, well, what in the hell did he say?
Dude,
And he should run for office.
I poked so much fun at that. I've done it. I remember one time I played a video for 20 minutes. Well, you edited it. No, I literally played it 20 minutes straight through. And I said, now, what did he mean? What did he say? Everybody's like, So the other day when the cat was crossing the street, for some reason it looked like a dog. And when the sky was blue, but these planes came out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. And that's really super, super good because the gas was cheaper. But when you're on the boat and you're there with your dog and you're hunting for chickens, you're like, what the fuck are you talking about, dude? You're like, what?
Yes. And he looks so serious while he's doing it, and it's like, man, this
Don't lie. He looks like Delbert. Don't he? I have a picture of him, but like, that so he pisses me off, I do the verses. And the picture was me in my chair, my avatar, and Dilbert next to me going, I was like, me versus Militias, man. He does. He looks like Dilbert. I mean, come on now. I know right now people are going, what do you mean? I'll show you real quick. Come on, man.
I got Fortune 500 proof.
All I need to do is slap a Hawaiian shirt on fucking Dilbert.
And put a cat in his lap.
I mean, come on, man. Look at it's Dilbert. It's Militia, man. Stop lying, man. Anyways,
we found you. We found you, Militia, man.
Yeah, I couldn't resist. Sorry. I do dig him though, but for the most part. But I just, in my opinion, I think he is a person that purposely misleads people. I mean, when you're trying to debunk me, but you can't figure out how to do it, and you just make shit up. No, Go for it. I challenge people, dude. When I had my other channel, dude, I literally was challenging people. I give you $5,000. I give you $10,000 if you could prove me wrong or come on my show and debate me and win. They can't. Not a single freaking content creator took me up on that offer.
But but just to touch on Militia Man and Frank, you remember one of the guys that we did a show with him, Delta. I'm sure a lot of people remember
Angel
Delta.
1, Angel 2, Sandman 1, Sandman 2. None of them guys? We never got none of them guys?
Never.
I mean, I used to play all the time. I go, you know who called me on the show? Sandman. I play that song, Mr. Sandman. Bring me some info.
But Delta, I thought was a very nice guy, a great guy, and he seemed very informative. Now I know that you two had differing opinions on some of the information, but you guys had a really, I thought, constructive conversation that night we were all together. Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'm right. Trust me, I'm right all the time. But but the way we didn't have to be adversarial.
No.
Be respectful. And I told anybody, you guys want to come on my show? Mark Z, any of them, I go on your show, you go on mine. Look, I'm polite, I'm respectful, but I'm going to say to you, this is my opinion, and I'm going to give you the info and share it with you. If you don't agree, then just say, well, I don't agree, Pimpy, because share your info. How hard is that? You know what I mean?
Right.
They won't do it.
Right.
They've been lying to people for so long. For so long.
So to get into this Iraqi stock exchange, just so people know, I call it Pimpy because I'm, like I said earlier, I'm just your average guy. I'm not college educated. I'm a roofer from Atlanta. You know what I mean? But I'm invested in it. And so many of you guys are invested as well, but probably don't have the time or to know where to go like Pimpy does and some other people to know what the best investment in Iraq is. So today I asked Pimpy if we could do a show together to try to give everybody a clear picture of how to make some money in this investment. Because I'm telling you, in my heart of hearts, and from what I've been hearing, it's not going to solely be in this Iraqi dinar. The stock market's going to be pumping over there because it's already set up great. And if you look at Shafak News, there's so many things in here about what Iraq is doing. For one, let's just talk about this. You remember 2 to 5 years ago, there was so much terrorism and people were blowing stuff up
Do you
everywhere?
see that on the screen while we're talking?
I do.
Okay, so this is a Wise Investment Group. They invest in the Iraqi stock exchange. Now, this is my opinion. Even if the Iraqi dinar were to do what everybody hopes and the zeros are there and they change the exchange rate, congratulations. How long until you end up like one of these lotto winners and shit through the money in like 4 or 5 months? Most people will. The smart thing is to be invested in the stock exchange because they get dividends. Some companies pay out every 3 months, some every 6, some once a year. For those of you who don't know what dividends is, they get part of their earnings for the year and they divvy it out to all the shareholders. So we get money from the company for being invested in it. There's like 37 companies, maybe I think in all, on the Iraqi stock exchange. They might have added more, but I think at one time I counted 37. Well, all of us in the Wise Group, we own, Carl, 1.2 trillion stocks. Let me repeat that. Not million, not billion with a B, trillion with a T. Trillion stock, 1.2 trillion stocks. We're, like I said this before, we're like the BlackRock of Iraq. We own huge portions of all the companies. Digging into some of these companies, they don't understand that the names of the companies different from what we see over here. So, like, we invested in the Coca-Cola company, but don't call it Coca-Cola. It has a whole different name to it. So these are things you got to know. You have to see the names of the stock, see the names of the company, and dig into them a little bit to understand what's going on. Now, 5 years ago, when we were first looking at the stocks, I went through there and I said, okay, the stocks we want to look at are the ones that they call premiums. It's like our preferred. They pay dividends. So we should look into that first. When I started looking at the companies, I was like, oh, yeah, the big ones, I can tell you right now, all the banks, all the ones we can invest in, those are going to be huge. And every year they kick ass when it comes to returns and stuff. But we're invested in some great telecommunication companies. You know, right now what has been happening is when we get paid our dividends, we just reinvest it right back into the stock exchange. Anyways, just give them a call here, 850-419-3624. Just tell them I sent you, and they'll walk you through what you need to do, okay? Let me get out of here again, because God only knows when this thing... I thought he had to be more than 2 people before it cut you off. Zoom sucks, by the way. Anyways, they're owned by China. No, just kidding.
So, I mean, that seems like a solid foundation to make some money.
Look, you get the money, the dividends, and everything else as long as you stay in a stock exchange. Why would you sell your stock? Unless you had rated common stock. So you have preferred stock, common stock, right? Preferred is you get your dividends. Common is when the value of the stock goes up, you gain. Other than that, you don't get dividend. In Iraq, they call them premium stocks and common stocks. So we own a shitload of premium stocks, preferred stocks. So we get dividends. When you're dealing in investments, there's always risk involved. The risk is something happens to the investment. But after watching what Iraq's been going through these last couple of years and watching Al Sudani come in there and clean shit up, and they are trucking right along. They are members of the World Trade Organization, but they had to redo the certification all over. They have the Port of Fa, their biggest ports, where everybody's going to be pulling into. And why are they going to pull in there? Because they're going to go in there and then use that damn superhighway that gives them access to all Middle East. They're going to be the Middle East hub for all the major industries coming in and out of there. Not to mention the future cities that Iraq is building there. You can get right into Iraq and go everywhere else. So Iraq is going to be a hub for all this shit. Like I said, you heard content creators. What do we say all the time? The economy is looking really good. That's why the Iraqi dinar is going to go up. Well, it's part of the reason, but to me, when I hear that, I'm more excited about the idea of the stock going up. The economy is growing. We are kind of starting at ground level. It's like 37 companies at the time. Like I said, I'm not sure how many now. We're there at the ground level for most of those companies.
You know, the other exciting part about getting into the stock exchange is even if the dinar went off, that's a one-time thing. If you're invested in the stock market in Iraq, I mean, that's
until you sell your shares, you're going to continue to get money.
Oh, for on and on and on.
Yeah. Look, you guys, everybody knows that the entire infrastructure and reforming of the banking sector was to do one thing. They are setting themselves up for the central bank digital currency. So people go, Pepe, what do you think about the dinar? When's it going to change? I don't even think they're a year away from launching the central bank digital currency. Why the hell are they going to do anything to redenominate or change anything to do with the Iraqi dinar? And I warned everybody a year ago. Remember this? I told everybody a year ago, you better hope they don't do this shit. When they start using words like inclusive and, people out there in farmlands that can't be reached, you can get on your phone and they're giving phones away like freaking Obama phones. I was like, no. Dude, this is, well, one, to keep track of you, but two, so you can do all your banking digitally. There's no actual banknotes involved. So if they're going to go 100% central bank digital currency, there are no banknotes. There's no reason to redenominate. There's no reason to make changes to the current Iraqi dinar. None. Does that make sense to you? Like, hey, we got these banknotes. We need to change them. Things are better for the Iraqi dinars. But even though we're going to central bank digital currency and there's no need for banknotes, we're just going to go ahead and change our banknotes? That doesn't make no sense. You know how expensive that is? It's really fucking expensive.
Probably.
Billions,
Hundreds
yes.
of millions.
Billions. So why would they change anything to do with the Iraqi dinar? They're not. They're just going to wait till they have and launch the central bank digital currency. The only hope you have is that they rise up and give these people shit, because these people are capable of doing it. The Iraqi people, if they're not comfortable with something or they're not knowledgeable with something, they will rise up in large numbers against the bank. So that's the possibility that they say, we don't want the central bank digital currency. We want banknotes. And if that's the case, then they'll redenominate and you'll get your new currency then. Before they launch the central bank digital currency? No.
It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, why would I want, as a country, why would I want to pay billions of dollars to redenominate a banknote when I'm anticipating going 100% digital? And I know people are going to say, well, not everybody's going to have access to this, and I get all that. But they're going to force you into it one way or another. Nothing is going to happen to the Iraqi banknote until the central bank digital currency is being launched. That's just common sense. You know what I mean?
You put it in plain English, though. You know what I mean? So I appreciate that. And that kind of helps me. And I know it's got to help a lot of other guys and ladies like
people
myself.
Don't want to know the truth, man. I remember when you first came aboard me, you talked, I said, and I was telling you, look, there's some, help me with some stuff. But the truth of the matter is, a lot of these people, they really don't want to know the truth. They want to live in this la-la land, man. It is like a drug to them, hopium. It really is. And I'm like the methadone of fucking hopium, man. It's like, I'm trying to help you people get off that. I'm trying to walk you off the cliff, man. And I mean this with all sincerity. I don't want you to be emotionally zapped.
You got to take a mental break, you know what I mean? And I was just getting so invested into it. And I really kicked myself in the ass because I should have stuck it out and just stayed in it, because I feel like there was, I read the comments like from my show last night, people, believe it or not, Pimpy, people missed his face.
Yeah, of course. Well, it's so beautiful, I missed it.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. But,
there's not much of it left, but,
it's a lot smaller than it once was.
I know. I was like, look what the hell happened to Carl's face, man. He lost a hell of weight. Did you see the comment I put under that video?
I did. I saw it this morning at 5:30.
I was like, I wonder how many people know I'm actually Pimpy. I'm just going to put this on there and see.
Well, they should know if they see, like, the banner and everything that's there.
Dude, you missed like a month, 2 months. It feels like you missed a lifetime.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? There's like a whole swamp of new content creators.
So on xe.com, the currency exchanger, right? I had someone send me a picture. And when you go there and you put in IQD, and you got to go to something else on there, it just doesn't post it. But when you get to a certain page on the Iraqi dinar, it says this currency may have been redenominated. And I was told that it wasn't there 90 days ago. What do you think that means? Or do you think it's something old? Like I said, it's not firsthand for me, but someone had sent me a screenshot of it where it says this currency may have been redenominated. Yeah, it's xe.com, the currency converter. If you got a minute.
Yeah, but look at it while I'm talking to you. There it is right here.com. And you put in IQD. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, IQD to USD or USD to IQD, whichever one.
What's either one. Let's see here. Let's see what it says.
You see where it says it may have been redenominated? What does that mean, Pimpy? If it's
redenomination? Are you asking me what a redenomination is? Or are you asking?
No, I'm not asking you what a redenomination is. I get that. But why would xe.com have that posted there for the IQD when you're trying to see,
No, I hear you, and I'm looking over here and I'm thinking to myself, okay, why would it post it? Because I don't see it anywhere. I don't see it anywhere.
To me, this would be a good avenue for someone to try to manipulate people to get another 100,000 views, right? If someone went in there and posted this, somebody without integrity or just looking to grow there.
Oh no, it's a great little ploy here. I mean, we're gonna look at it right now. Let's try the converter. If not, the news. Let's look at the news. Oh, I'm there. I found it.
Where was it? How'd you get to it?
I just put on the search. I put XE space IQD. And it took me right to it. It says, notice IQD may be redenominated. May be redenominated. But it doesn't explain why. But here's the thing. Of course, it may be redenominated because it kept talking about, here we go. But how long has this been up here? That's the thing. Because it tells you right here. In 2010, the Central Bank of Iraq announced their plans to redenominate the Iraqi dinar to ease cash transactions. Right. So intentions would be to delete the zeros. Oh, gee, who said the deletion of the zeros means redenomination? Oh, I know. Pimpy. That's who the hell said it. Anyways, so I don't know how long this has been up here. It might have been, people will come across something and they'll act like it's new when it's been there for years. It gets really old and boring being right all the time. It really is.
So XC could have put that up there in 2010.
And deletion of the zeros. So it might have been up there since 2010 because usually we just go to the converter. But this is under the news for the Iraqi dinar. So I don't know how long that's been there. Is it going to redenominate? Yeah, if they keep mentioning the deletion of the zeros, the removal, the deletions of the zeros, that is a redenomination. And they've been talking about it going all the way back to 2009. So, yeah, I mean, that note could have been there who knows how long ago. But that don't mean shit. We already know that they're thinking about redenominating IQD. When it's going to happen, who knows? A redenomination means they take the zeros off the banknote. And so your 10,000 Iraqi dinar becomes 10. 25,000 becomes 25.
Right.
So that's what it means. And then they'll change the exchange rate. So for all I know, that note's been there since freaking 2010. So what?
Okay.
I mean, you don't need a note on XE to tell you that. Just tune into our channels and we'll tell you the same thing for free. You know what I mean? So
absolutely.
Let me just wrap this part up and then you can ask if you got any more. The IQD, look, you buy your dinars, don't spend more than you can afford, all right? Just spend if you got some discretionary funds and you want to buy them and just put them in their drawer and wait till the truth comes out, not lies. Stop listening to this bullshit that's out there, okay? And then when it comes to Iraqi stock exchange, we all know that Iraq is getting their shit together. We know the Port of Fall is being built. We know the major highways being built. We know the future cities are being built. The economy is always doing great, and we know that sooner or later, they're going to get reinstated back on the World Trade Organization. That just means their economy is going to boom anymore. To me, the right investment is going to be in a stock exchange because you get those forever and ever. The dividends, unless the company closes down or Iraq can just stick up their ass and decide to do something stupid that pisses us off, we wipe them off the map. But, for the most part, no, that just makes sense. The Iraqi dinar is a one-time thing. The stock exchange goes and goes and goes and goes. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, in my opinion, the smart investment would be in a stock exchange. That's what I'm doing. Now, I still got my Iraqi dinar. If they leave the zeros on and change the exchange rate, well, we'll be snorting coke off hookers' asses in Vegas in no time.
I'll be right there with you, buddy.
Yes, you will. Any particular questions?
I think that's good for now. I really appreciate your time. I do want to do this again with you either tonight or tomorrow, whenever you're free. I want to talk about Vietnam.
We can do that. I haven't done
All
something
right.
on Vietnam dog in a while. We can do that.
All right, that works. Hey man, I love you, Pimpy. I respect you,
Right back
and
at
I
you.
value you. I value, buddy, and I'll talk to you soon.
I'll talk to you later. You have a good one.
You too, buddy.
Bye.
Bye-bye.